Hi everyone, Bandanner here. Welcome to this week's WARNO Devblog, which is all about the Army General campaigns, or just about anyway. Eugen say, hello Commander, we hope you're doing well. The Army General is clearly one of the most frequently asked topics featuring high on your wish list, so what's the deal? In today's Devblog, we're going to give you a rundown of what's happening with WARNO's upcoming massive strategic campaign mode and what to expect in the coming future. Please note that the localization and text writing within Army General is still a work in progress. Yes, there are a couple of typos and mistakes in the screenshots, but we are in the process of ironing them out. So let's dig in. So their first subheading here is the promise. First things first, let's go back to the original promises we made when we kicked off the early access of WARNO. The launch of a game like WARNO with a small team like Eugen means a big chunk of game development time, resources, and lots of fine-tuning and balancing. Eugen, that's the end of the sentence, and there's really nothing there. It's just, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't lead anywhere. I think what they're probably trying to get across is that they're a small team, and if they were a bigger team, this stuff would go a lot faster. Anyhow, as you can see in the background, this is the original outline that they promised at the start, they say. And then they go on to say, when we launched WARNO, we gave you a tentative look into the development of our game. As you can see, we have delivered everything we initially promised and then some. We took some time to add a whole bunch of features that went beyond the original scope, such as more divisions, more maps, new mechanics, and they're saying that urban warfare is a new mechanic here, and I think what they mean is that that is being added to the campaign. There will be urban warfare in the campaign. They don't mean that they've just made this, because obviously their previous games had some urban warfare content. They have also added the new traits, etc., they say. From the Might Be section, we delivered the tutorials, the operations or scripted scenarios, which leaves us with the Army General campaigns. We can confirm that WARNO will ship with at least one campaign, but potentially more, before the full official release out of early access. The next subheading is why so long, and this is all their words, by the way. Shuey, you might say you kept your promise, but why is Army General campaign taking so long? For that, let's reveal a bit about the development history. From day one, we were explicit in saying that we couldn't start working on WARNO's Army General campaign until most, if not all, the units were developed and implemented, as the AI and the auto-resolve mechanic would need to be designed to use them properly. Of course, next to that, we were busy researching maps, order of battles, and potential campaign ideas, but work on the Army General scripting and balancing wasn't able to start before the milestone Messina in mid-July 2022. As you might recall, our first Army General reveal blog was from September 2022. We had a rough first playable prototype by this time, featuring a full order of battle and unit formation pawns. However, it was straightforward port from Steel Division 2's Army General mechanics into WARNO. We could have been marginally content just wrapping this up and shipping it, but it would have been counter to our vision. In our perspective, WARNO's early access is the opportunity to be ambitious and massively improve our Army General campaign to go beyond and upgrade what we can do with a turn-based strategic mode. The next little subheading is Teeth versus Non-Teeth. We got to work. One of the first things we did was to rework the combat system to define better and separate teeth and non-teeth battalions, meaning infantry and armor for the first versus artillery, air support and auxiliary formations, recon, security and engineers for the latter. We wanted the non-teeth battalions to be more relevant, letting them compete only alongside themselves but still bringing bonuses to the fight. As such, artillery, air support and auxiliary now have their own category in the new battle plan phase. Though it might sound like a mere UI reorganization, this change carried some serious AI tinker work to use this new system fully. The next little subheading is scale. Another thing we wanted to resolve in our strategic mode was scale. While the operations in World War II could last several weeks, maybe even months, because it was a 6-year war. World War III in Europe, however, was planned to be very short. The Warsaw Pact had about 10 days to win an invasion, or else NATO would have been able to bring too many reinforcements, including Reforger, to the battlefield after 2 weeks of fighting. Many studies and plans on both sides of the Iron Curtain envisaged the use of nuclear and chemical weapons in a myriad of ways, as a first strike to break the stubborn NATO defense, or to contain a successful Warsaw Pact breakthrough. Either way, at least in a conventional sense, World War III in Europe would have not been planned to last more than 2 or 3 weeks. In WARNO, that is our working hypothesis, a conventional conflict being played out over a limited amount of time. That's why in WARNO's Army General, we have switched to a 3-turn-a-day ratio, morning, afternoon and evening, which meant recalculating all units' movement range to match the shorter turns. And of course, we'll make sure that in the future Northag Army Generals campaign, British troops won't fight in the evening, it being tea time. Well, Eugen, I'm here to tell you you're wrong, because tea time is an afternoon time, not an evening time. Your research has failed you. Once again proving that the British are better than the French in every possible way. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go and prepare my cucumber sandwiches. The next little subheading is reinforcements. In Steel Division 2, reinforcements could only be brought in by using command points. In WARNO, we stepped away from this economy. Instead, scheduled reinforcements are due at specific moments and will arrive regardless. Other types of reinforcements may or may not be granted depending on the events and strategic choices. Their next subheading is Urban Warfare. Urban Warfare is another significant difference with Steel Division 2. In WARNO's World War II cousin, this type of combat could only be settled using the auto-resolve as it lacked urban maps. We've decided to do things differently with WARNO, especially after hearing your feedback for more urban maps. This is why urban maps will be integrated into WARNO's campaigns to be triggered when fighting on a specific section of a strategic map. WARNO's Army General campaign will have its own set of small-scale maps for such opportunities. Each new mechanic we added, even if only for multiplayer, has repercussions in Army General. We have to teach the AI new battle plans, new traits, how best to use urban maps, strategic choices, units, etc. This takes time. To integrate and test all of it, we created a special campaign, smaller in scale. This testbed campaign proved fun enough to be added to the game after a touch-up and update. And this became the 5th campaign, and you will know this if you've watched the previous Devblog videos, and this is Bruderkrieg. So next up is the Order of Battle. The Order of Battle mechanic has been improved compared to Steel Division 2. We can now zoom in to platoon level, not just company level in terms of formation detail. The user interface has been upgraded to follow suit, allowing you to navigate from strategic army level all the way down to platoon level. Another element we changed was reworking specific formations that were too small or weak, with their equipment and personnel being distributed to other battalions as detachments. For instance, the Lone Motorized Rifle Battalion in the Warsaw Pact Tank Regiment was a pretty weak and almost unusable as a pawn on its own. We removed an infantry battalion from each regiment, but buffed each tank battalion with an infantry company instead. It sounds complex, but it means that the infantry battalion is now split between 3 tank battalions as accompanying infantry. We have also reworked the display of the pawn labels, allowing them to be more readable, but also a little bit sexier, looking more akin to those labels found in good old board wargames. The next heading here is, if at first you don't succeed, try again. Once we integrated all our new features, the painstaking task of fine-tuning and balancing everything began. As they say, the last 10% of the work is the hardest. We had to try, change, update, and try again countless times. At the latter stages of development of Bruderkrieg, the first campaign we will deliver, any gameplay changes could have major consequences. For instance, changing the core game mechanics such as reinforcements meant rewriting and re-recording all audio lines, as this campaign featured a full video intro, briefing, voice lines, etc. for each side. Taking all of the above into consideration, we hope you can understand why developing Army General took some additional time. What we can say is that Bruderkrieg is in the final testing phase and will soon be delivered to the strike team for the ultimate round of testing. You should be able to see them stream it soon. In the meantime, not being idle, the game designers are working on fleshing out the next 4 major Army General campaigns. Army General took its sweet time. We are on the home stretch for all campaigns. We can't argue that it took longer than expected, and hence our sincere apologies. Finally, they want to let everybody know about the WARNO Super League tournament and the upcoming WARNO 0.5 League. So SDL again are working on a couple of new tournaments. So the first up is the 3rd edition of the WARNO Super League tournament to be played on the 28th and 29th of October. Once again, get ready for some ruthless fast action over 2 days in a single elimination tournament. After this event, things will get even bigger with another WARNO League, the WARNO League Season 0.5. The group stages will start on the 30th of October. As ever in all the leagues, players will be put into different divisions based on skill level. It shouldn't matter if you have 10 hours or 1,000. What's more, both events have a cash prize pool. Be sure to sign up through the links below and you'll find out more info there. Incidentally, I'll leave those links in the video description as well. And that's everything for this week, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Please do like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you all soon, hopefully, to stream you some Army General Campaign.